Hello there, Golf Freak here, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Asgard's Wrath 2. So, a couple of things to note. Firstly, as you may notice, the view is completely different. And there's a reason for that, and that's because before I was using the casting, which goes to oculuscasting.com, and basically I'm recording a browser of this thing streaming to that. Now, there's a couple of issues with that. First off, it's highly compressed. That's what you're dealing with. And it's just lower quality. But the reason why I do that is because it's easier to control my audio balance to the game. Because if I don't do that, the only other way I can do it is through the record function. And that requires post-editing or using the Oculus mic. Neither of which I really find to be good. Now, about a month ago, which was after I looked up how to record stuff, through the Oculus developer, there's Casting 2.0. And the cool thing about Casting 2.0 is it has this cinematic view. So the cinematic view actually tells the system to render more than what I can see, so that, and the video and what you guys are seeing is more than what I see. So you guys see all my stuff at a still 16:9 ratio. So I'm recording via my right eye, and this is center screen pretty much for me. And for you, it's going to be a little bit off, but not by much, because it actually does a pretty good job of centering it. Now, there is a downside to this, though, and that is that there is an audio delay. Now, through my testing, that should be pretty well synced up. And what I mean by that is that in the audio settings for OBS, I've actually set a 450 millisecond not audio delay, but audio increase. It plays 450 milliseconds faster in the recording because the audio is delayed by about that long. So hopefully that's pretty well synced up. Unfortunately, in setting OBS to do all that stuff, I ended up messing up OBS and lost about an hour's worth of footage. Had to roll back and come back to this area. And because of another reason, I went ahead a little bit and did some of the stuff. I've already been over here and got all that, but that's about it. Just a quick little fight over there. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. This is going to be how I'm recording going forward. Now, this method does have a second drawback aside from the audio desync, which is not really that big of a drawback if you set for it, which is what I've done. And that is that because the Quest is actually rendering more than what it's meant to, you know, significantly more than what it's meant to, it's actually stressing the system, especially in the open areas. So that's something to take note of, is that once I get to the bigger open areas, we're going to have occasional hiccups, which really sucks. But, you know, what are you going to do about it? This is definitely just so much better for me and for you. You guys get better quality. I don't break my brain on figuring out a good way of doing it or making spend a bunch of time in post editing stuff together.
So I can get out.
So, you know, is what it is. So, I'm gonna more or less speed through this stuff, because I already know what it is. That was an interesting forcing me to do that. But, you know what I probably should have done is check to see the time. Yeah. Should not be recording this late and wasn't planning to. Oh, really, game? Jeez. That is the thing, is it doesn't really like me any kind of interruption, which is interesting because I found that to be an issue with the first game being a PC VR game, given that I initially started trying to play it on my 2080, which, while being more than the VR, sucks when it comes to dealing with the what was it? When it comes to dealing with the Oculus Link or Steam VR. It does fine if I were to use Virtual Desktop, because Virtual Desktop apparently doesn't use much. It just uses like binary and doesn't use an external program.
The dial is the trap.
Oh, hello. Well, since that just happened, something to take note. Oh, I don't have any shield. Shoot. That's not good. Something to take note is that the counter system in this game is different. Originally, you would counter in order to get rid of the runic armor that they had. Now that is no longer the case, because runic armor is apparently just like normal armor per se. And what it does instead is it actually stuns them and just lets you wail on them for a little bit. I think the best way to get rid of runic armor is actually to deal with the critical hit spots that show up. I'm still not 100% certain how to like make them show up, but they do. Oh, hi. So I am inherently adverse to getting close to these frickin' things. They're nasty. Dude, I'm right here. I know your sensory thing is like really frickin' magical, but what the? Come on. There we go. Strange. One thing I will say is I don't like how long it takes for stuff to show up from chests. It's really kind of annoying, to be honest. Those link to there. I really have to either be paying attention or just stare at it for an extra second. I really like, though, how you can, like, retrieve stuff with that. You gotta wonder, like, who made this type of place to, like... I did not mean to go for that, but that works. To have such, like, simple puzzles. It's like, wow, they really thought very little of, the ancient people that lived around here. Hi. Oh, there's two of you. Oh. Yeah. I threw my sword at some point. That's interesting. And that's really nice. You can get items that are out of range. And I love VR stuff that has movement like this. It's... In my mind, it's really cool. My brain loves it. The pocket lamp. Sure, I'm all jiggered to know where I am in my room. So that was disappointing. Let me just say, I absolutely hate chests that give, you know, stuff that enemies drop. That's something that the first game did in droves and drove me nuts.
Light. This once I will accept Rod's blessing. It seems our way is blocked once more.
What are you gonna do? Like,
Take any advantage.
now we have the big guy with runic armor. They showed me a weak point. Oh, the weak point does show up when they do like an unblockable or taunt, I guess. Or block? It's kind of unclear. Oh, it does show up whenever I successfully block, but I guess it doesn't show up on weaker enemies.
Got too close.
Just runic armor.
It was bound to happen.
Leveled up. Press to spell my skill point. So, for this guy, don't have a shield or anything, which is what I assume that's for. So for these we have Chance to do damage, deal straight up bonus damage, more damage when hitting weak points, chance to do bleed. This is perfect time when swinging. Press it when swinging the stone. I don't even know what that means. Expose weak points. Increase the weak points that appear on enemies, which has nothing to do with the axe, but I guess I'll let that go. And this is better when thrown in quick succession. Now, this is really good just because it lets me do more damage in the long run. When combined with that, it's also very good. So these three are kind of going to be the first ones I go for. All right. So, we have a few things to do. First off is grab these. That's not from this game. There was one more. That was like a Valkyrie to me. Okay, so we've got these things. Now these things lift those, and that one makes that one go that way. This also isn't up yet, which means I think I have to do some of these first. I didn't notice when it came back up the first time I did this. But either way, can't do anything unless you're here. And then I can just do that. That'll give me access to this stuff. Then I can come over here. Yeah, I've got full runic armor. Bring this to here. And that brings me to all this stuff. Pull that out. Gives me that. Pull you. Then come back here. Do this. Go here. Go back into... Probably a little... Should have done this since I was going to do this anyway. I've done this in a different order to be more efficient, but who cares? So, these give the shield, but they don't regen. At least not regen anytime soon. And of course, we have a Pharaoh thing with a frickin' handle, because why not? Yeah. Ooh. Oh, jeez, dude, that's mean. Totally missed that, dude. Now, stun just lets me smack all I want. So I guess the weak points only show up on people with enemies with the runic armor, which is actually really good because, you know, runic armor sucks. Especially on the higher enemies. Like, oh my gosh. I couldn't believe how high some of the enemies got, and they were available relatively early. I'll take you. Yeah, I didn't take any hits, so I guess there's no point in me grabbing the... What the heck just happened? Not what I intended. That is a bit annoying. Oh my god, did this send me up? Oh my god, that's so dumb. Sorry, that's a very dumb mechanic. Where if I grab the low part on the way down, that's what happens. Anyway. Come on, grab it. It's right here. What are you... That's weird. Okay, and then yoink you to here. You're now in a different place. I think because I hit the thing over there, it's kind of unclear. Wow, I really am all turned around. There we go. Huh?
Like an eye peering through the door.
I don't understand the dropping
Could
function
freedom
of that.
lie on the other side? Free of this place at last.
Ho, ho, ho!
Who violates the Temple of Autumn?
No. One god is enough.
Stand down, mortal. This god comes from afar.
Then send us both on our way.
I have never seen this kind of body sharing. We leave now, before Set's eyes spy us.
The disc. No!
Vision in the sand. You and Abraxas emerge victorious. Only face another threat, I guess. You endure a vicious sandstorm where a mysterious figure bears you to a hidden outpost in the desert while Abraxas recovers. I didn't really get that, but I guess? Sure, why not? How are we doing on time? Go here first, then I can do this, and that's much better. We're okay. Not really. I don't remember how much time. Probably the 25-ish minute mark. Rude.
Keep walking and you'll find the end of my spear.
Peace, Medjet. This god is a rare visitor to our lands. Make way for our guest.
At once, at once.
Come, traveler. Let us talk inside.
Now, one unfortunate thing that I'm really disappointed at is that from this distance, oh my gosh, is it bad. Like, the quality's bad, there's flickering in and out. Once you get to about here, oh, it looks great. And it makes sense, it's because there's the whole streaming property. The streaming property is when you have stuff far away, you take a bunch of pixels away because you don't need to see it in detail, and when we get close, you know, does it actually come in, but...
Welcome, Great One. I am called Medjet.
Okay. I am in a wall. That wasn't cool.
Come. Why have you come to Egypt? In these times, few who venture out to the Great Sand Sea alone survive the journey. But you, I sense, are quite the survivor. Clever to employ a mortal, though he seemed quite displeased with you. That fragment of the sun disk, I sense. It must not have come easy. A lion goddess would have showed her fangs. Sekhmet, yes. Related by blood, if not by temperament. And what of your kin? Do they also share your skill with mortals? You are waiting to see, as am I.
Technically, you're like
Then
the...
rest here. You may use the resting quarters in the watchtower.
Like, technically... Oh, your name is Horus. That's... I don't think that was actually said. So, I don't think... What was I gonna say? But whatever. I'm gonna cut the video off here. I don't know how long it was, because I didn't really pay attention when I was starting. But thank you all very much for watching, and God bless.